Hey, what's happening, guys? Just wanted to give you a quick update as to what the progress has been with the Blackhorse L-39. And so we're going to just start from the front here and just work our way to the back there. All right, so first, as you can see, it's got a little bit of a little tube sticking out there. So I've installed a pitot tube. I just had to cut out a little bit of material with a little bit of hot glue on the bottom side inside of the plane, and then just use a little bit of automotive spot putty, sanded it down a little bit, and a little bit of paint. Reasoning for that is this is more accurate than your GPS sensor, even with the new sensors that they have. That's a bit more accurate and a lot faster in terms of relaying information back to your transmitter. I like to know what my airspeed is, especially on approach. Hopefully on the maiden flight I can test to see what the stall speed is, remember that, and ensure that I don't go below that when I try to land. Now, we've got our two tubes that are going to be coming back here, going right into our speed sensor there, or airspeed sensor there, so that's perfect. Next, this is, I decided to use a tray and design my own tray to put all the equipment and my batteries, and just cut some slots here for battery straps and so on. Partly because if you look back here where the tank is, that sort of webbing sort of configuration that it has, that's the same stuff that is here. So it's not like a solid piece, so to try and put screws in I think would be a bit challenging, and you wouldn't be free to sort of put it where you wanted, your components where you wanted. So I decided to just come up with my own plate, and with a few grommets and so on for my wires to come out and come through. Powering it is going to be, from a receiver perspective, we're going to go with an FrSky R10, running on 2.4 megahertz with a 900 megahertz receiver. So we'll have dual diversity, dual redundancy running on the plane. So total of, I think we can do 16 channels. I'll probably only end up doing maybe 12, I think, when it's all said and done. Next, wiring, which was a pain in the ass, an absolute pain in the ass, and I'll tell you why. I bought these prefabricated wiring harnesses, one for my LED lights that I'm still waiting for, and of course for another one for your surfaces, elevator, or sorry, ailerons, flaps, gear, and brakes. Now, here's the thing about these harnesses. So just heads up to you guys, because I made the mistake and screwed up. These harnesses come with a common negative and a common positive, right? And if you're using, like, let's say the JP Hobby brakes, or any of the brakes that require just a positive and negative, but no signal wire, this will not work. In fact, if you hook it up to this, you're going to burn out your retract, which is exactly what happened with me. You need to rewire this in order to make it work, which is exactly what was done. Thanks, Nat, much appreciated, my brother. So this is all rewired and ready to go, so that's going to work quite nicely. Next, as far as the elevator rudder is concerned, I decided to wrap everything in this sort of heat tube shielding, if you will. I think this stuff is good to like maybe either 450 or 750 degrees, so don't have to worry about any of the silicone wires melting or causing any problems. Additionally, now this plane calls for an 80 Newton turbine. I'm putting a 120, and just dialing down the thrust probably with something called the throttle stick. Yeah, stop laughing. Anyways, in order to fit it in here, because it's pretty big, I had to make some adjustments. And let me just grab that, see if I can put that in there. Okay. So I had to make some adjustments. I had to cut a part of the plate off, simply because it was just too wide. To get that to fit nicely, so everything fits nicely. And the other thing too was I wanted to make sure that I could monitor what the temperature was back here inside of this pipe in here. So what I did was this line that you see here is actually a heat sensor, and it runs all the way back to about here. You can't really see it, but it's attached down here. So there's a heat sensor here so that I know what the temperature of the pipe is, just to make sure that we're not overheating things. Obviously I'll have a temperature for what the turbine is running at, so I should have fairly good information to keep us safe. And that's really about it, guys. Like I said, slowly but surely she's coming along. Oh, one last thing. Back here, the pipe didn't fit through nicely. I had to take down some material just to get it through, regrettably. I took a bit too much material down, so we're going to have to address that to make sure everything's nicely centered, but I don't think that should be much of an issue. A little shim, and we'll get that straightened away. As well as both elevators and the rudder are all shielded with some foil tape, along with the same heat shielding that I was telling you about. So I made sure that it's all run all the way through just to be on the safe side. So that's basically where we're at, and like I said, slowly but surely she's getting done, but it's a busy summer for us caterers, so you take time when you can get time. Anyways, take it easy, guys. Cheers. Houston out.